Okay, you guys are ready to start your weaving projects, okay? And I have one here that I've already started, but I'm gonna start over. So while I'm doing this, weaving is different than sewing and knitting and things like that. And the main difference is that it is using a loom, okay? And a loom is simply a tool used to hold your threads together when making the textile piece, okay? And that's what this kind of art is. So we did a lot of drawing, we did some painting, we did some ceramics, and now we're gonna do a textile piece, okay? So this is your loom, and the cardboard will be taken out. So you don't have to worry about that. Also, you want to make sure you're starting, when we're starting at the bottom. You can tell it's the bottom because the top has all these like loops and like an extra string up here, okay, that a lot of times I have kids like freak out about. Don't worry about any of this. We'll tie off and cut and trim and do everything with that later. But it is wrapped in a special way, so this will be the opening, okay, where we put the drawstring and stuff for your little pouch. And this is the bottom, so the bottom will be closed, okay? So how you start, okay, and you're going to get a tapestry needle, and it has a pretty big hole in there, okay, and your yarn pretty easily goes through, okay, but there you go, got it right there. But if you are textile challenged and that is hard for you, I have a special trick. So you take a piece of paper, a little piece of paper, and you fold it like hot dog style, okay, so you want it kind of thin, and you stick your little piece of yarn in there like this. You don't want them sticking out. And then you're gonna take your needle and just push the paper through all the way, and voila, your needle is threaded, okay? Now, a lot of times I have kids that want to tie this onto the needle. You can do that. It won't be like an epic fail or anything, but just leave a tail. You won't have to cut anything, and it will cause a little less aggravation and time. Okay, so this is how you start. You just start with a basic under, over, under, over, under, over pattern. Okay, so I usually do 3 or so at the same time, okay? And when you start with a piece of string, I'm gonna leave like an inch or 2 just hanging out there, okay? Again, don't freak out, just leave it. You don't have to tie it to anything. Don't cut it super short, just leave it, okay? You're gonna have so many rows that it won't really matter, okay? But then you just kind of keep continuing on this under over thing. Now, you can do 1 at a time if you want, but keep going under over, under over. I usually do 2 or 3, okay? So we did under, so we're gonna go over, under, over, under. Now, and you just flip the card and keep going, okay? Now, as you work and as you get higher in the process on this little cardboard loom, it does become a little tougher, okay? When you get up to the very top, you kind of have to go only 1 at a time, and that's okay. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, but just kind of keep going around and around. Okay, now, so I finished 1 row, and I'm back to where I started. So here, the best rule of thumb is to just say, okay, I went under on that one, so I'm going to go over. And you just do the opposite of what you did on the first row, okay? And you just keep going around and around. Now, how do you switch strings? Okay, stick with the opposite. Let's pretend like I'm kind of to the end of my string, like I don't have very much left. And so what you do, you just kind of cut your needle out, leave that other little tail there, okay, and just kind of keep it squished, okay? Thread your needle again, get some more thread on there, and what you do wherever you end, so I ended right there, okay, so I'm going to copy the last 2 unders that I did. So here's 1 under and here's 1 under, okay? Just copy it and you're going to keep going on your same little pattern, okay? So I'm going to leave this, okay, and I'm going to squish it down a little bit, and you're just going to keep going around and around, okay? So a couple things. If you make a mistake, okay, and you're like, oh my gosh, I did under, okay, just try to get back on track, okay? If you do them all like opposite the way you're supposed to, it will be a problem. But if you only have like 1 or 2, it's really not a big deal. You can just kind of squish them together, okay? You can change colors, you can have a whole color scheme and whatnot, but you're just gonna keep going around basically like this, okay? and until you get to the very top. Remember, don't cut any of these. Don't cut any of the ugly strings, okay? And you should be good. Okay, I just wanted to show a little bit about how once you have been doing it for a few minutes, what it should kind of look like. So I've continued on with my under over thing, and you can see down here where it's kind of closer in, you see very little of the weft. No, the warp. The warp. You're doing the weft. Okay. Anyways, you see very little of the ugly color, okay? When it's all done, you really should not see very much of that at all. It should be mostly just your solid weft color. And what you're going to keep doing is just keep going under over. As you go every few rows, okay, I want you to take your fingers and squish down your rows, okay? So let me finish this row and then, okay. So see how they're all like this? You're going to take it and you're going to squish them down, okay? Because if you don't, I will. And there's nothing more demoralizing than when Mrs. Arago comes around and says, squish, crush your dreams. So keep it nice and strong, okay? And the only other thing I can show you, it's really easy to tell if you're doing it something wrong. So here, I'm going to do, just for sake of demonstration, this part wrong. Okay, I'm not doing the opposite. Okay, so I have done the same thing as the row before, and see how you start to see these pop out? These strings are going to pop out, and you're going to see a lot of the ugly color, okay, but we don't really want to do that. So if you notice that you get off track or something, you can always just go back and take it out, okay? Just sew back